let's move on to the next topic, which is area and perimeter. The first question says draw a rectangle 5 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide by joining the dots on the grid. So as you can see on the grid, they show that the distance between two dots is 1 centimeter. So we need to draw a rectangle which is 5 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide. So I will draw the lines that are 5 centimeters long in red. So you can start anywhere you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the lines of 2 centimeters in purple. So 1, 2. So since it's a rectangle, I'm going to complete it like this. And we have our rectangle, which is 5 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide. Next question says find the perimeter of the rectangle. So we know that in this rectangle, the sides are 5 centimeters here, 5 centimeters here, and then 2 centimeters on either side, because opposite sides of a rectangle are the same length. And then what we do is, in order to find the perimeter, which is basically the outline of the shape, we add all the lengths. So that's 5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2, which is equal to 14 centimeters. The next question says, here is a polygon on a 1 centimeter square grid. What is the area of this shape? So when we need to find the area of a shape based on a square grid, what we do is 1 square is basically 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter. So this means that the area of 1 square is 1 centimeter square, 1 times 1. So all we need to do in this case is to count the squares, and then we have our area. So I will first count the full squares. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. But we also need to consider the halves, so we add 2 halves to make 1. So this half and this half makes 12. And this half and this half makes 13. And this half and this half makes 14. So our answer here is 14 centimeters square. Next, let's look at question number 3. So here in the chart we have some information about a rectangle, and I will illustrate this on the side. So we know the width of the rectangle, which is 2 centimeters. So I'm going to put 2 on either side. And then we have an unknown length, but we do know that the lengths of a rectangle are equal. So if this is x centimeters, then this would also be x centimeters. And as you can see, the chart gives us the perimeter. So using the perimeter, we are able to find x. So this would mean that x plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 16. So x plus x is 2x, plus 2 plus 2 is 4. So 2x plus 4 is equal to 16. And now in order to find x, first we need to get rid of plus 4 and put it to the other side. So when we put plus 4 to the other side of the equal sign, it becomes minus, which means that we are left with 16 minus 4. And 16 minus 4 is equal to 12. But we need to find what x is. So here, since 2x means 2 times x, we need to get rid of 2 and put it to the other side of the equal sign. And multiplication becomes division in the opposite side. So x is equal to 12 divided by 2, which is equal to 6. So we have found x, the length of this rectangle, which is 6 centimeters. So we can complete that column in the chart. Now that we know the length and the width of the rectangle, what we can do is multiply the two of these, because area of a rectangle equals length multiplied by width. So the length is 6 centimeters and the width is 2 centimeters. And when we multiply this, we have our answer, which is 12 centimeters square. And we can of course fill this in the table as well. So I am going to write 12 over here. So now we can move on to question number 4. Here we have a compound shape that is made from 2 rectangles. So in order to find the perimeter of this shape, we first need to find the missing lengths. We have a missing length over here and a missing length over here. In order to find the first missing length, we look at all of the horizontal lines. So we know that this length plus 6 is equal to 12 because it's the same distance. So 6 plus 6 is what is equal to 12. So this can help us tell that this length is 6 centimeters. Thereafter, we need to find the other length. So here what we need to find is the vertical missing length. So I'm going to mark the other 2 vertical lengths for you as well. Here we have an unknown length plus 4, which is equal to 9. Again, because the distances are the same. So 4 plus 5 is what is equal to 9, which means that we have now found both our missing lengths, and we can go ahead and calculate the perimeter. We know that in order to find the perimeter, we need to add all of the sides of a shape. So in this case, I will start from this corner and count all of the sides. So 6 plus 9 plus 12 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4. And our next task is basically to add all of this up. So 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 12 is 27. 27 plus 5 is 32. And 32 plus 6 is 38. And 38 plus 4 is 42. So our answer here is 42 centimeters, which is our perimeter. The next part of this question is to find the area of the shape. So since this is a compound shape, we need to divide this into 2 parts. You can either divide it like that or like this, it doesn't matter. So I will divide it like this, and then I have A and B. So I'm dividing this into two rectangles. I need to find the area of each of them and then add it up to find the total area of this compound shape. So I will be doing this in the side now. First, I will find the area of A. A, the sides are 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters. So the area of A is equal to 6 times 4, which is 24 centimeters square. And then I am going to find the area of B. So the lengths of B are 12 and 5. So area of B would be 12 times 5, which is 60 centimeters square. And now that I know the two rectangle areas, I can add them together to find the total area, which is 24 plus 60, which is 84 centimeters square. So this is how I find the answer, and I will now go ahead and write the answer, which is 84 centimeters square. So this was 24 plus 60, which resulted in 84 centimeters square. The next topic is sequences. We have one question here which says that a sequence starts at 300 and 40 is subtracted each time. So the term to term rule in this sequence is minus 40. So each time we subtract 40, and if we keep this going, we have 140, 100, 60, 20, so on. So the question says, what is the first number in the sequence which is less than 0? So here when we subtract 40 from 20, we are going less than 0 into negative numbers, and 20 minus 40 is actually minus 20, which means that the first number which is less than 0 is minus 20. Great. So the next topic is angles. Here we have three angles A, B, and C, which are marked on the diagram. And we are supposed to order this in size, starting with the smallest. Here, A, we have an acute angle, which is less than 90. And B, we have an obtuse angle, which is greater than 90. And C, we have a right angle, which is 90 degrees. So the smallest is less than 90, the acute A, and then it's 90, the right angle C, and then the largest would be the obtuse angle B. The next question under angles is question number 2, where we have 5 angle cards, and again we are supposed to order them from smallest to largest. So here I will write the numerical values of each angle. So B is a right angle, which means it's 90 degrees. C is half a right angle, so half of 90 is 45 degrees. And then D is half a turn, so a full turn is 360 degrees, which means half a turn is half of 360, 108 degrees. And now that we have all our values, we can order them from smallest to largest. So the smallest is 45 degrees C, and then 60 degrees A, and then 90 degrees B, 120 degrees E, and 180 degrees D. So let's move on to the next topic, which is data and charts. So here we have a question which says, Abdul records the shoe color of every person in his class. And we have the record. We're supposed to complete the table to show the data. So blue, we have a tally of 5. So the frequency is 5. And then we need to count how many brown shoes are there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 if I'm not mistaken. So the tally would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And the frequency is the number, so this would say 4. And a quick tip to double check if your answer is correct, you add the total and see if you have counted everything. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 2, so there's a total of 18. And when you add these up, you have 7 plus 5, which is 12, 12 plus 4, which is 16, and 16 plus 2, which is 18. So this means that our value over here for brown is correct. Great. Now that we have checked that, let's answer the next question. Which shoe color is the mode? So you should know the meaning of the terms mode, median, and range. And mode refers to the most frequent, which means in this case, which shoe is worn the most. And all we need to do is look at the table, and we have 7 students in Abdul's class that wear black shoes, which means that the most frequent color is black. So our mode over here is black. The next question under data and charts says, here are the results of a maths test, and in the table you can see there's names of 5 students next to their scores, and these results are also shown on a bar chart. And the A part says complete the bar chart to show Javid's score. So Javid's score is 118, which would lie precisely between 110 and 120, but closer to 120, so somewhere there. And then you would draw the bar. So make sure to use a ruler for this. You should be able to draw a bar which looks much better than what I have drawn, but this is the answer to 2A. So here, in order to find the median, what we should do is arrange the scores from smallest to largest. So I will first do that. We have 94, and then 100, 118, 136, and 155. So we arrange the scores in order, either ascending or descending, and we find the middle score. So we keep cancelling off the numbers from the corners, and we end up with the median, which is 118. The next topic is BODMAS. This is a very simple question under BODMAS. You can be asked questions that are way more challenging than this, but the idea is that first you need to do what is within the brackets. So that's 5 plus 3, which is 8, and then you write the rest of it as it is. Next we have an addition and a multiplication. So in this case, you would first do the multiplication because m comes before a. So 5 times 8 is 40. And then we write the rest as it is. So 5 plus 40 is 45, which means our answer here is 45. The next topic is calendar. And in this question, it says that this is a part of a calendar for May, and Graham's birthday is on the 26th of May. So you are supposed to then find which day of the week his birthday is. And the easiest thing to do is basically to add in terms of +7, or you can even fill this calendar up all the way up to 26th. So I will go to 3 and then add 7, which is 10, and then add 7, which is 17, and then add 7 again, which is 24. So 24, which means Friday is 25 and Sunday is 26. So Graham's birthday is on Sunday. This is how you would answer a question like this. Or like I said here, you can fill it up completely. So from 6, you say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, so on, right? So whatever works for you, which you are sure of, as well as you can consider the initial method I told you in order to save time. Great. So the next topic is then grids. And here you can see there's a grid with labeled points A and B. And the question says Bruno draws a rectangle A, B, C, D on this grid. D is the point 2, 1. So when we have a coordinate like 2, 1, always the first number is in the x-axis and the second number is in the y-axis. So 2, 1 would be the point over here. And we would label this with D. The question says, what are the coordinates of point C? So if we are to draw a rectangle here, we know that the point C would be over here, so that the lines make up a rectangle like this. Just to show you what that is supposed to look like. But of course, even without drawing the rectangle, you are able to say that point C will be over here. And the question is asking for the coordinates. So again, x first, y second. The x-axis number is 4 and the y-axis number is 1. So the answer here is 4, 1. The next topic is number facts, and we have 3 questions here that cover different types of number facts. Question 1 gives you the number fact 26 times 16 is 384. So using this fact, you are supposed to find the answer of 2.4 times 16. So here what is special is the decimal point. There's one decimal point in the question, which means that in your result also there should be one decimal point in your answer, which means that there should be one number after the decimal point. So instead of 384, because this is 2.4 instead of 24, we are going to have 38.4 as our answer. Then the next question, what is different here is that instead of 16, we have 32. And we know that 16 times 2 is 32. So basically this is doubled, which means that our answer needs to be doubled as well. So 384 times 2, which is 768. And then we have our answer. So question 2 and 3 is also pretty similar to this. Question 2, we have the number fact. 26 times 15 is 390. And here instead of 26, we have 13. So in this case, it is actually divided by 2. So opposite to this, multiplied by 2, which means that we need to divide our answer by 2 as well. So 390 divided by 2 would be 195. So we would say 390 divided by 2 is equal to 195. So actually, since they want us to use this fact to work out the question, I would always recommend you to first show how you deduce that it's divided by 2. So you say that 26 divided by 2 is 13, and therefore you divided the answer 390 by 2 as well, and you got your answer as 195. So 13 times 15 is equal to 195. Even though this is 1 mark only, I recommend you to write all 3 of these lines in order to have, a very complete answer. So next we'll go to question number 3. Here we have 20 times 18 is 360. But the question says 19 times 18. So here it's actually 1 less, right? You can see that 19 is 1 times table less than 18. So basically, since this is the 18 times table, because 20 minus 19 is 1, we would say that it's 1 times less. So since it's the 18 times table, we subtract 360 by 118. 1 times 18, or 118, which would give our answer as 360 minus 18, which is 342. I will show you the same thing in a different, simpler example, which will make it very easy for you to understand. So for instance, it's something like 23 times 10 is equal to 230. This is your number fact. You need to find what 22 times 10 is. Right, so here, since it's the 10 times table, you already know what your expected answer is. It should be 220. But looking at the number fact, these are both times 10, but the difference is in one times table. Right, here it's 23 times, whereas here it's 22 times. Just like here it was 20 times 18, and here it is 19 times 18. Right, so it's a difference of 1, which means that it's a difference of 1 times 10, which is 10. So since it's 1 less, what we are going to do is we are going to subtract 10 from 230 in order to get our answer. So it's 220. This could have also very well been something like 19, right? So here we still have a number fact, and here these are both times 9, but the difference here between 23 and 19 is 4 instead of 1, so that'll be 4. And 4 times 10 is 40, which means that if it was 19 times 10, we need to subtract 40 from 230. And 230 minus 40 is 190, which, is the expected answer for 190. For 19 times 10. This is why I use the 10 times table, because it's very easy. You know the expected answer. But of course, as you can see in the exam, you are not really given the 10 times table. You're giving something like the 18 times table. The next topic is translation. So here we are supposed to translate this shape 3 squares up and 2 squares to the right. So 3 squares up. You can select any point you like. So I'll just select this point. 3 squares up means 1, 2, 3. So the new point is over here. And then from here, 2 squares to the right means 1, 2. So the final point is over here, which means that I'm going to draw this shape from this point. So a line with 2 squares to the left, then a line down, then a line this way, line down, 3 to the right, 1 up, 2 to the left, and then 1 back up. So this is your answer. To make it look better, right? So you can use any point you want to translate. You can, translate all the points, but that would, waste time. So let me just take this as an example. So if you use this point to translate, 3 squares up would be 1, 2, 3, and 2 squares to the right, 1, 2. So you still end up, with the respective point translated, and you start from that point and you would draw your shape, something like that. That is what you would do. So of course, when you're answering this, you only need to draw your translated shape. So this would do. The next question is a reflection, and here we have a diagonal reflection, and we are going to reflect each of these points. So we start from one point and we move towards the mirror line perpendicularly. So here we need to move one square diagonally to the mirror line, which means that the reflection would be one square away from the mirror line diagonally. Right? So here we are going towards the mirror line. The movement is to the mirror line in a perpendicular way and away from the mirror line in a perpendicular way. So we have our point, our reflected point over here. The same way we continue this for the rest of the points as well. So this point is just going to remain over there. This point is 1, 2, well, it's actually 1.5. Let me show it again. From here to here, it's 1. And from here to here, it's 1.5. So away from the mirror line, first half. And then 1. So still it's 1.5. Then we do this again for all of the points, depending on how good you are at, reflecting. You can either reflect a few points or you can reflect all the points. So here again it's 1.5 to the mirror line. So we move half and 1.5 away from the mirror line. Let's do the same thing for this point, which is 1 away from the mirror line. So I'm going to move it 1 away from the mirror line in the other direction. Then I'm going to reflect one more point, which is this. So this point is, oh, why these points aren't appearing? 1, 2 squares away from the mirror line. So I move it 1, 2 squares away from the mirror line in the opposite direction. Great. So now that I have my points, I am going to join them up. Don't forget that we do have a point over here as well. This is not reflected because this is on the mirror line itself. Right. So we can join our points based on the colors in this case. So I'll first join red and dark blue, then dark blue and purple, purple and orange, orange and green, then green and light blue, and light blue and red. So here we have the reflection on the mirror line, right? But be very careful with reflections like this. Right. So the last topic is rotation. This is something quite unique to Cambridge. So here we are supposed to rotate this triangle 90 degrees clockwise about point O. So if we need to rotate it about point O, we make point O the center of a cross and we draw a cross that looks like this, right? And then thereafter, if we are rotating the triangle from here, you can use tracing paper. Actually, I recommend you use tracing paper because it's very easy to rotate it with tracing paper. But since I can't show it with tracing paper in this case, what I will do is we need to rotate this about point O, which is over here. And when we rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, this triangle needs to be in this area if it's 90 degrees clockwise, right? Read the question carefully. It's not always 90 degrees clockwise. If it's 90 degrees anti-clockwise, for instance, this triangle would be over here, right? And if it's 180 degrees anti-clockwise, then from here to here, 90, and from here to here, another 90. So 90 plus 90, 180 degrees anti-clockwise, right? So here, if we want to rotate this triangle, right, you would place your tracing paper above the page, and then you would draw the cross on the page as well, and you would trace the triangle over it. And then you would turn the tracing paper 90 degrees, and you will have the shape that you traced landing on this section, and it will look something like this, because when this line is rotated 90 degrees clockwise, it would end up over here. You can see here how the angle formed between this is 90, right? And then when this line is rotated 90 degrees clockwise, it would end up like this. And when this line is rotated 90 degrees clockwise, it would end up like this. So your rotation would basically look like this. So I hope that made sense. All the best if you're sitting for your exams anytime soon, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.